everybody. Welcome to I guess we're going to have to call it the end-month cavalcade this time rather than the mid-month cavalcade because it is very much at the end of the month, not the middle. A couple quick programming notes. One I'm sure you've already picked up, which is that we intended to do both a Thanksgiving episode and a December episode. That was the plan. And then we realized it's been a long time since we've recorded in a December, and it is very hard to get everybody in one place at one time during the holidays. So the Thanksgiving episode was, for all intents and purposes, our December episode. We just released it a couple days early, and our January episode will be coming out on either the 1st or 2nd. So that's going to be coming up. Don't worry about that, but just a quick note. It also, because of the holidays, kind of moved this mid-month cavalcade towards the end of the month, as you can tell, because of when you are hearing it. But don't worry, coming in January, we're going to get back to our around the 15th schedule. So don't let that get you nervous. I understand if you're a long-time listener to the show, anytime things aren't exactly when they come out, you're going to get nervous, because in the past, we've not been the best about that. But it's just the holidays, kind of getting everybody. As we talk about the holidays, fantastic. We want to thank our sponsors at Power to the Meeple at powertothemeeple.com. They did a lot of great stuff for the holidays. If you're looking at New Year's Eve games, you might be able to get in for a last chance there. If you're meeting people kind of after the general holiday season and you have gifts to give, go check out Power to the Meeple at powertothemeeple.com. Not only do they have great prices, they're helping shows like ours and Blue Peg, Pink Peg, and the Brawlin' Brothers. They also have their own podcast you can check out at powertothemeeple.com, and we just want to thank them so much for their continued support. They've really been amazing to us, and we can't thank them enough. Thank you so much for helping us make this show that we are so very, very proud of. While we're on that, as I'm sure you realize, we have a Patreon at patreon.com where you can sponsor. We have a few people who have sponsored us at the $10 level, so I'm just going to read their names real quick and kind of knock that out in this part of the show. Power to the Meeple, of course, at powertothemeeple.com. Mike Cooper, Daryl Hutchins, Mike Reese, Stephen Quaid, McKinley Sayre, and Brian Ganninger. Brian, if I have your name wrong, let me know. We'll fix that in future episodes. But this kind of came in at the last minute, so I wanted to make sure I added it here in this part of the episode. Once again, Power to the Meeple, Mike, Daryl, Jerry, Stephen, McKinley, Brian, thank you so much for helping us do what we do each and every month. We're really happy to be back. We really enjoy the things that we do, and we're really excited about all the new games that are coming out because party games are really getting super exciting right now. A couple more things to note. I'll take care of them in this first block so that if you're one of our Patreon supporters and you've heard the rest of the content, you do not need to worry about it. We are going to be doing a panel at MagFest, the Music and Games Festival in National Harbor, Maryland. It is called Party Games Are Still More Than Cards Against Humanity, which is a 1-hour show, I guess we'll call it. It's certainly a panel where we talk about sort of different genres of party games, and then we show off a couple that are in the genre. If you're looking for party games that are not just Cards Against Humanity, that's what we do that one for. I believe we're on Saturday night in the tabletop area at either 5:30 or 6:30 p.m. I don't off the top of my head remember, but I know it's one of those two times, so if you're down at MagFest, we would certainly love to see you. Past that, a lot of great games coming out. We'll be getting to those in the coming months. For January, we're covering some video games, so that should be kind of cool, kind of fun. And now, I think it's about time. Let's jump into the Patreon content from October. Once again, if you're one of our backers at patreon.com/partygamecast, you heard this in October. If not, you're hearing it now. We're going to talk to you about some stacks from the Mex-US border, and then we just cover a gross thing, but you'll hear about that in a second. So we're going to jump into the October What the Food. I'll be back to you on the other side to talk to you just a little bit more. Hey, Patreons! Welcome to What the Food! What the Food!
What the
food?
What the food? What is food?
Baby, don't
eat me.
Oh,
Nom,
nice.
nom, nom.
Oh, Brian, good work.
You're welcome.
I'm your moderator, Bruce. Joining me on the show is Rocky.
Hello there.
Mom.
Hi.
Mike.
Heya.
Brian.
What's up?
And Marty.
Hello.
How are you, Marty?
I'm doing okay. How about you, Bruce?
I get by. Get by with a little help from my friends. Yeah.
Well, we're here for you to help you get by.
You know who else is here for me and for all of us? Or all these fantastic Patreon backers.
Woohoo.
Thank you for backing us on patreon.com.
Thank you.
but I don't need to do an ad for you. You're already here. Thank you so much. It is now What the Food time here in October, and you would think, hey, with that, I bet you're going to do Halloween candy, but we're not.
Nope.
No, who
No.
would?
We might be wishing we were doing Halloween
It's a little
candy,
too on the
but
nose.
Now, we did
Yeah.
candy corn back in the day.
Yeah, we did
Yeah,
the
we did.
terrible candy corns.
Oh, yeah, those were awful.
So what we're doing now is the fine folks at Yarrington's Yark Yurt, if you can find a corner, go on ahead, have sent us a whole bunch of food from, like, the Texas-Mexico border, the Texaco border. Yeah, that's how you say it.
That's
the
a different place.
Okay, that's a different... Okay.
Texaco, isn't that the guess?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
And
Is
these
it-
things
is
may
it
have
Mex-
come from a Texaco.
Well, Texaco did come from Texas.
Yeah.
Is it Mexus? Texaco or Mexus?
I like Mexus, because that sounds like more sinister.
It doesn't sound
I'm
as
part
corporate.
of the Mexus. Yeah.
The
like that.
Mexus. It's where they all join together.
Exactly. At the Texas-Mexico
Yeah,
border, of
yeah.
I think
course.
they can form Blazing Sword.
Oh, if only.
Yeah.
Blazing Saddles.
Oh. I would normally make a reference to everything we make a reference to, but not this time.
No.
He punched a horse. He
That's
punched-
one of the few safe ones.
He punched a horse. So what we're going to compare on this show, we're going to do a compare-contrast of orange creme pop Twinkies.
It's important that you pronounce that correctly. It is definitely written creme.
Creme
It's
pop.
not creamy?
No, I think I think it's creme.
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 Creme? It's
No.
like treme?
It's like
There's
creme.
no accent on the second E. There is on the one on the first.
I'm sorry.
E.
Sure.
Creme.
Cremey?
Creme.
Creme.
It's
Creme?
creamy. Creamy pops.
Cremmy. Cremmy pop.
So it's
Orange.
it's an orange creme
Orange.
pop. And
We have butchered that.
and Gansito filled snack cake. That I believe has come from the Mexico side of the Texaco border of the Mexis border.
So
Nexus,
Yeah.
yeah.
is
So-
Gansito the name, or is it what they're filled with?
I think it's the type of snacky cake it is, because then it says filled snack cake. It does not specify anywhere what
Well,
it's
it's filled with
with.
Gansito.
Yeah, grammatically speaking, it's filled with Gansito, but I don't know if that's actually what it is
I
meant.
don't know. Is it? I don't think so.
So here's the deal.
Hang on.
It's filled with
Google.
a lot of chemicals. That
Yeah,
I don't
Gansito is filled
recognize.
with a ton of chemicals, and it has a duck that is both trapped in the 90s, but also legally not Donald Duck.
Totally,
If it
definitely not Donald Duck.
It's his nephew's third cousin,
right.
is what it looks like.
So it's Dewey's third cousin.
Yeah, one
Yes.
of Huey, Dewey, and Louie's third cousins.
According to Google,
You Google.
Gansito means little goose.
Oh,
Okay.
that's
Okay,
a
so he's a
goose!
baby. That's why he wears pants, because ducks don't wear pants.
Yeah.
This one
Yes.
wears
So-
pants and shoes.
Unless these are filled with goose.
And you know what's
That's
great?
not-
Goose is so hot right now. Gooses
It
are
is.
so hot. So this is Untitled Goose Cake.
So is this like this is? Oh, I was going to make a
No.
Gosling reference, but Untitled, that's more topical.
Yeah, that's what I try to. Goodness knows. If
Uh-huh.
we do nothing on the Party Gamecast, featuring the Party Gamecast podcast about party games you take to parties, it's remain topical.
True.
So do we
Or
want to?
like on topic.
Or date
True.
our podcasts with references that won't be funny in 2 years.
If there's a point where an Untitled Goose Game reference is not funny, I don't want to live in that world.
I'm also implying that it's funny now and will lose
Which it
humor in the
is.
future,
Which
is a stretch.
Well, then, you know what? Let's start with the Gansito.
Okay.
This sort of looks like a real spangly ho-ho.
It does.
Yeah.
It's like squarish but rounded on the ends, and it has
Sprinkles.
Like
It's
sprinkles.
all-
jimmies on top.
Yeah.
Chocolate coated.
And apparently the filling has strawberry in it, but you couldn't tell that from the box unless you like really read the ingredients.
No.
Oh yeah, it's just
Like-
red and white on the box.
Yeah, the illustration has yellow cake and then red goo and then white goo.
Yeah.
And it's completely covered
Yeah.
in chocolate.
So appetizing.
It is.
excited to take a
You're
mayonnaise
welcome.
now.
Goo.
It is enrobed in chocolate.
It smells
But
like
it does have sprinkles.
Yeah. It smells like snacky cake chocolate.
Oh, it smells really good.
Yeah. I feel real sorry for the Twinkie because this is everything a Twinkie could be.
That's fantastic.
The cake is soft. The chocolate is not bad. Like, it's not great chocolate, but it's not awful chocolate.
And these are only like 3 days out of date. I don't know how the Twinkies are.
I think the Twinkies are in date, and these are 3 days out of date. So, like,
That's hard to do with Twinkies around here.
yeah. Especially since they were sent to us from the from the Mexis border.
You know, say unlike urban legend, Twinkies only last like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
These are really good. I
Yeah,
want
they
more
are.
of these.
Yeah.
They're a little bit fruity, a little bit creamy, a little bit chocolatey.
Yeah.
Cakey.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sweet,
my
but
word.
not overwhelming.
Uh-huh.
And it's like dark chocolate on the outside, too, which
Yeah.
is the best kind
really
of
good.
chocolate.
This is pretty impressive.
I'm going to finish the whole thing. Y'all have to wait.
I'm going to
I'm save mine for after the Twinkie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just in case the Twinkie isn't good, I'm going to
Yeah.
That's a good
finish
idea.
with the best of the two.
So we're gonna do a compare contrast. So we're not gonna ask if you take it to a party just yet. Because I think can we do this? Did anybody have a real problem with these? On a count of three, can we tell people if we would take the Gansito to a party? 3, 2, 1.
Yes. And by yes, I mean weird caveat.
Yeah, cool. Well, we'll get there.
I
We'll
gotta
get
stay
to-
on
We'll
brand.
get to your strange caveats in a second. We're
Can't
now moving.
disappoint my fan.
We're now going to move on to the orange clam pop Twinkies, which I would tell you, you could mix this in with any Twinkie anywhere and you would not know the difference.
Getting enough of that bad
Oh,
noise.
Are we ready for disappointment?
oh my word! Did you smell this?
Oh, that is artificial orange as I don't know what.
Smells like orange hand soap.
Yeah.
Oh.
It
Without
does.
the soap, but
So,
it smells
so
like
the
orange.
Twinkies have a date on them, which is October 2nd, 2019.
Okay.
Yes.
So I don't know if that's the expiration date or they were made on date.
I'm gonna guess based on when we got them, that would have to be like the sell by or the best buy date. So okay, so both of them are a
Yeah.
little out of date, but like considering who we are and what we do, they're both very much in date.
Yeah, last time we ate those
Yeah.
chocolate
For
covered
us,
ones.
this is practically not even made yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, last Twinkies we had were like 6 months out of date, and they were crunchy almost.
Oh,
Ugh.
These are a little chewy.
they're a little chewy, and the filling is terrifying because it's bright orange.
That is bright, shockingly orange.
Oh, it's that weird artificial cream that's like plasticky.
Oh
It
god.
tastes like orange cleaner smells.
Yeah, it's
Without,
like,
it doesn't have
Yup.
the alcohol cleaner
It-
thing, but it has that
it doesn't
fake orange.
taste orange. It just has that
They
weird,
added
very
that orange oil
orange
to it.
aftertaste.
So
And-
Oh.
Yeah.
if you've
That's-
ever had Gojo
Okay.
or used Gojo and you bite into this,
Terrible.
it's not as gritty, but it sure
Yeah.
looks like you bit into a Twinkie full of Gojo.
Yeah, that is exactly what this is. Or lava soap.
And smells like
Also,
also.
why is the wrapper oily?
The wrapper is oily and like
Twinkie
the
wrappers are
They're
always
always
greasy.
like
Yeah,
that.
Really?
Yeah, because they're fried, and then they pack
cake's
them right
oily,
away.
and-
Yeah, the cake's
Can't
greasy.
do that anymore. One
The-
bite.
the cake is real strong. I went back for another bite just to
Yeah,
like
me too.
Mm-hmm.
just to see, and like what's really weird is the feeling of the cake like disappears and just leaves this weird orange aftertaste.
No.
Mm-hmm.
But like I don't
Well,
feel
that's a Twinkie.
like yeah,
The cake sort of dissolves.
I like Twinkies, but I don't like this one.
that is wow. That is my
Unpleasant.
word. I'm gonna go take another bite of our goose friend.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, I went back to the Gansito.
The Gansito is wow. I did not think. I thought there would be a difference in these two, and that one clearly would be better because that's how comparisons go. But like, I didn't think it would be so ridiculously one-sided.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine the Gansitos are awful for you.
I can't imagine.
So
that.
interesting thing, a serving is 2 cakes, but they're wrapped individually.
Oh wow! Because I saw that number of like 410 calories
Yeah.
per serving, and I was like, oh my goodness.
If you open up 2 of them,
Oh,
yes.
so's the
Twinkies are 2
Twinkies.
servings each.
yep.
Are they also 400 some odd calories?
260.
Oh, so they're healthier.
Well, there
Well,
you
they
go.
have less calories.
They're health. They're health food. We have it on your authority,
yeah.
Marty. It's definitely health food.
So I'm gonna go around the table. Would you take them to a party? Which would you take to a party? Which do you think is better? Marty, I'm going to start with you because there's nothing in your mouth.
Not yet, anyway. No. So I would not take the Twinkies because they're just kind of greasy, and the filling was kind of like it tasted. It like had a weird orange aftertaste, but it didn't taste orange,
Mhm.
and the cream was, I guess, greasy is also another way I could describe it. Is like it doesn't feel like light and fluffy like a good cream does. It
Yeah.
feels like this fake cream. But I would definitely take the Gancitos because there are, especially comparing the two, they're just the cake has much better texture. It's pretty tasty, and I really like the dark chocolate.
Very good. Brian, how about you?
Basically the same thing as Marty said. The Gancitos I would take because they're novel and delicious and just generally good on their own despite the novelty. The Twinkies I might take just for novelty's sake, but they wouldn't be good. But at least it'd be like, well, it's just a Twinkie with a weird flavor. It kind of tastes like orange zest. Not orange zest. Kind
Yeah.
of bitter. And but yeah, that would be the only reason I take them is just for novelty's sake. Because everybody's already had a Twinkie.
Here's a game I'd like to propose, Brian. Run through this with me.
Sure.
Is-
I like games.
Yeah, I know that you do.
I'm ready to play a game.
Is Twinkie roulette.
Okay.
You buy Twinkies of like 8 different flavors, and since all the wrappers are the same, mix them all up in a thing, and you have to eat whatever terrible flavor Twinkie you end up with.
That
Yeah,
would
but they're
actually
all
be
terrible.
fun. And regular Twinkies are
Regular
fine.
Twinkies are alright.
Yeah, they're not amazing. They're
I
just not terrible.
disagree.
And
I
deep
put them
fried,
in
they're
the
pretty
refrigerator.
fantastic.
I like them in the
everything-
Deep fried, just about everything is fantastic.
Yeah, almost everything's better deep fried. But yes, deep fried Twinkies with a little drizzle of like syrup on
Yeah.
top and some powdered sugar, and you're gonna die a little younger, but they are
Yeah.
delicious.
But this guy gets it, yeah.
Yeah, I've already knocked 6 months off my life with one of those.
I understand. I swear, I've actually asked Rocky for the rest of our life to never let me eat another deep fried Twinkie.
I have a very strict rule about deep fried snack foods: is I will eat them once for the novelty,
Yep.
and I will never order them again.
Yep.
Like
So-
I got deep fried brownies or deep fried brownie dough or deep fried Coke one time. Deep fried they do a bunch of stuff.
They do
Buckeyes
Oreos.
at the state fair.
Yeah.
I had a Buckeye. I was like, that is amazing. Somebody else eat the rest of these.
I feel like if I could keep that same rule with chicken, I'd be better off in my life.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I can't.
have
No.
the opposite rule with deep fry. I've specifically not taught myself how to do it, so I don't die.
That is the same reason that Rocky will not let us get an air fryer.
Yeah, I made one chicken
Well, an
fried
air
steak for
fryer
myself.
wouldn't be as bad. A deep fryer, that would be bad.
Yeah, but
Air fryer's still not great. It's better than a deep fryer, but
Yeah.
you can air fry bacon.
Yeah, you can.
Oh no.
Oh, yes.
You can chicken fried steak batter bacon
Nice.
and dip it in cream gravy.
Nope.
Oh,
nope,
there you
nope.
go. And just
What?
fry all that together and just make
Yeah.
it a thing for Thanksgiving.
It's a thing they do at a couple restaurants in Texas, and I I will have one
Okay.
one piece of bacon.
Down in Mexus.
So yeah, how's that for tangent?
No,
Well, you
that's
came back.
That's a
You
perfectly
came back
yeah.
back to Mexus.
Yeah,
So-
you
Brought it
brought it
back.
back to Mexus. So, Mike, how about for you? Which one are you taking? Are you taking them to a party? Which one's your favorite? Talk to me.
Well, like everyone else, I was mildly repulsed by the Twinkie. But I feel that way about all of the Twinkies that I've ever had. I really don't like them. They're extraordinarily artificial. They're just there's nothing appetizing about them. They do everything wrong about, like, I don't know how you can manage to be a sweet sugary thing and still be that unappetizing.
I have
But
to
they do.
agree. And that's one of those, like, there are a lot of things, like, I do a little bit of calorie looking. I try not to let it upset me, but I do look sometimes. And yeah, Twinkies are one of those things where you're like, there's no way I'm giving this many calories up for something that tastes like this.
Yeah,
There's no way.
It's not worth it. Like,
No.
I get if you make something super high calorie, but it's so tasty, like French fries, you're tempted.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
they're not good for you by any stretch of the imagination, but you're tempted.
Yeah.
Yeah, Twinkies just, I don't know why people would buy them. I don't understand it at all, but people do.
So then what about our goose friend version?
Yes, Ryan Gosling over there
Yeah.
is very tasty.
Very nice.
If I was in the Mexus area,
Yeah.
and
If you were in the greater Mexus metropolitan area.
yes, if I was in Whataburger country,
Of course.
I would also buy Guncitos and bring them to a party because they are much, much better. They are everything that Twinkies should be and are not.
Fair enough. How about you, Mom? What are your feelings on this? Because you might be the only one here that you're like, no, I genuinely like Twinkies as a thing. So you are going to be the kindest to the Twinkies. What are your feelings?
I agree. I think that the Twinkies are good, but I do like them refrigerated. I've had them since I was little, so I do like them. But this Gansito is really good. It has a little bit of like a jelly in it that goes with the dark chocolate and that cream, and it's just a wonderful little bite. And I would definitely take it to a party.
Nice. So then, is this like the gel rings that you get? Is it
No.
like that, but
They're
as a
good.
cake?
No,
No.
no, it is not.
It's not. They're
Those
good,
are
too.
terrible.
No, they're
Those
good.
are great.
They're
Oh.
good.
Yeah, I don't
know what
mind the
it is.
gel
Yeah,
rings. I'm
yeah.
kind of
Oh.
pro
The
gel
gel
ring.
rings are good.
I don't know what those are. I think I know what they are, but I've never had one.
I like the gel rings.
Yeah, then we need to fix that.
Okay.
Just wait till next Passover.
Yep.
Yeah.
yeah.
Or
that's
actually, wait a
probably
minute.
why
They might be in discount bins from this Passover.
Ew.
That's
true.
That's a long time.
That is a long time.
have
Yeah.
It's
good
been a
reviews.
minute.
Yeah, it has been a hot couple minutes. But sometimes around our neighborhoods, and it sits in there as long as it's
One would
relatively
think, yeah.
durable.
Do they stock a
forever.
lot of Passover stuff in our neighborhood?
So-
In the discount bin.
They used to, and then they realized I was the only person buying them.
That's
So-
what I was implying,
Yeah.
but not saying.
So this past year, I couldn't even get matzah.
That used to be my favorite
So-
thing, is to buy matzah afterwards.
Yes.
Because I could buy like 12 things of matzah for $1.50, and I would just use it as like nachos for the next.
You're like, oh, I got saltines without
Mhm.
the salt. Great.
Exactly. And I own salt. I can fix that.
Yeah.
So, okay, Rocky, how about you? Which one do you like? Are you taking them to a party? All that good stuff.
So, on principle, I would like to like Twinkies. Just my heart wants to like them.
Well, your heart probably.
No, your
No,
heart
Glad you
doesn't.
don't.
Yeah, your
Oh, yeah.
your cardiovascular system.
I
does
don't think
not.
anything on your insides wants to like them.
Yeah, that is the message that I have gotten every time we try Twinkies. Is that, man, they're gross. They're just oily and not even like grease. They're just damp and the cream is slimy and it's not So, yeah, I don't like the Twinkies. They are not going to a party ever.
Okay.
Unless I'm like chucking them at people.
Okay. So then, how does our friend Gansito feel?
They're amazing. And I'm hoping that we can easily obtain them where we are.
I have a feeling where we are, we might be able to find them.
Probably.
I'm thinking of going to a couple of stores and checking.
Wouldn't be shocked if Amazon might have them for a hopefully reasonable price.
I wouldn't be
We
shocked
have
if
a-
a lot of the supermercados around us probably don't also
Oh,
have
also very possible. But
Yeah.
they might have another brand.
them. Yeah.
Who knows?
They are
Or
very
even
nice.
the Asian market, they've got a surprising
Yeah.
selection of Mexican stuff.
Yeah,
That's
because
true.
we have
Yeah.
like we have
Because
we have a
reasons.
lotte and we have a Great Wall and we have a lot of those
We have
sort of
The H
several
Mart has a big
lottes.
chunk of those things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to chime in with what everybody else said. I agree. The only way the Twinkies go to a party is if we play Twinkie Roulette, which
Ugh.
might be a game I've just invented.
I would totally play Twinkie Roulette, even though every time I'll be like, oh, right. It's
No,
Twinkie.
that's not roulette though. That's just a lose
Yeah.
proposition.
That's putting a bullet in every chamber and
So-
spinning it.
Yeah, which one's okay and which one's terrible?
So you know when we might play Twinkie Roulette
yeah.
is
No.
at Extra Life.
No,
Maybe we set up a bin of them at
Oh.
Extra Life.
Oh, just a grab bag of rando Twinkies.
Yeah. And
still
a
got
few
any of
these in
those the Ghostbuster slime ones?
We
Oh.
might,
We
but
might.
that would
Those
be
are
a
going to
definite
be
loss.
Oh.
2.5 years out of date.
Well, they
Yeah.
were bad
That
to
movie-
begin with.
Is what 2016 that
2016,
movie came out?
2015, something like that.
Yeah,
They
so
came out right
that's-
around then.
Yeah.
I know we didn't keep eating them.
I'm not going to say that they aren't around here, though, because we're real bad about throwing things out from the food archives.
I just
So there's a definite possibility.
I can't get over. Like I remember from my childhood loving Twinkies. And
Me too.
None of my I know memories are a little weird, but none of my memories match up with Twinkies I've had as an adult. I remember being like soft and spongy and not greasy and wet and just and like Rocky said, like the filling is like slimy almost. And
Yeah.
as a kid, I don't remember any of that.
No, I remember them just being fluffy and good.
Yeah, and like
Delicious.
most of my other snack food memories, like candy bars, still taste like I remember them tasting. I just
Yeah.
don't eat them as much because I'm not at 8.
Yeah. Fair.
This Twinkie isn't good.
No,
one
this
is-
particular one's
this
not
one's not
great.
good.
No.
It's just novel. It's
So
not
there we
good.
go. We have compared and contrasted Twinkies. Thank you so much for listening.
So
I've
just
been
to be clear,
Yeah,
hold on.
yeah.
Our conclusion is that Mexico's better, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That was the end.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
is
make
that-
a better.
Yeah, at the Mex's border.
You could probably build a wall with these Twinkies.
At the Texaco
Oh,
Mexico.
I wouldn't cross that wall.
No,
No.
Me neither.
no one would. Everybody on both sides would be like, "Why'd you?"
I
make
wouldn't
it out
go
of-
near that
whatever.
wall.
No,
Whatever.
I'm not paying for it either.
Yeah. So thank you so much for listening. I've been your moderator, Bruce. Joining me on the show has been
Honk.
Yum.
Gosling.
Chocolate.
and thank you for listening. Okay, so if you didn't turn it off, there's one more thing that we're going to do. There was one more thing sent over by our fine friends at Yarrington's Yark Yurt. And that is probably something that you were hoping that we would cover.
Surprise.
Which is, surprise!
Surprise!
Which is zombie Skittles. So here's the deal. It's Skittles. You're supposed to, I guess, hand them out to children because you are the worst human being.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
'cause
they
you
don't
want
have
your-
needles in them or
You want
something.
your
Yeah.
house egged tomorrow.
Do not hand one of those to every person, Marty. This is Russian roulette. So, in these packages, we have little fun-size packages of Skittles. Most of them taste like Skittles.
Does it say fun size on there?
It does say fun size.
Is fun in quotes?
No,
Because it should be.
Fun is not in quotes.
It does say
Why?
beware all over it.
Why is it fun size when there are less of them?
I have no idea. I
It
think
can't
that
be
if
fun.
it's
It's fun
There's
for the
less
bank
of it.
account of the manufacturer.
I get-
Indeed.
in this case, it might actually be a pro because less of the roulette.
Yeah. So here's the whole novelty of these: is that most of these taste like Skittles, which you may or may not like to begin with. Some of them taste like, and I quote, rotten zombie. So we are going to now. I know Rocky has begged out of this one.
I just, I was sitting here sacking myself up, like, maybe I can do this. Maybe I won't get what I can't. Oh God, I can't. I just,
I completely understand.
no.
You know, if this is one of those, because I'm going to give you just a quick, for those of you out there that need to know, because I said, well, Rocky, I've heard they just kind of taste, you know, like they're all right. And she was like, oh my God, no. Everything that kind of tastes like a basement or kind of tastes like damp or sort of tastes like mold
or earth or yeah. No.
So you are especially bad for these.
Yeah,
So we are going to let you pass here.
Oh, thank you so much.
And I'm going to open this up, and we're just going to keep trying these till somebody gets one of the bad ones. I'm going to start with orange, because orange can't be bad, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Everybody stare at Bruce.
First one
That's
happens.
definitely orange.
Here you go, Mom.
Hey,
As long
Mom,
as
it's
I
your
don't
turn.
have to eat a green one, because I just lose that no matter what.
Mike, even if we get down to nothing but greens, you don't have to eat a green one.
Okay.
Mom has a purple.
So take
There
a
she
bite. We're going to
goes.
find out. And make sure that we can hear in the microphone your reaction to it.
I have an orange.
I'm going to take a
Wait,
green
slow
one
down
first.
now.
Is grape.
Okay.
Okay.
It is orange.
Oh.
I'm eating a green one since Mike won't. That's Greg. It's just fruit flavored.
Okay.
Yeah, regular green.
All right, I'm trying a blue one.
Okay. How is it, Marty?
It's just berry.
Okay,
Sort
so
of
I'm going to
chewing
go with
noises.
another green one.
Everyone gets those sweet, sweet chewing noises.
Yeah, that's just kind of like sour apple.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's fine. So here's the deal. From what I understand, there's not a guarantee that every one of these has zombie.
How many-
And there's not a guarantee that every package isn't just full of zombie. So we might get through a
Well,
whole
this one
package.
was not full of zombie. We know that now.
I have another purple. I'm sticking with purple.
Okay. How's it going? Grape again?
I mean, I don't think
No,
so.
this might be people.
I'm sorry. Might be?
Look, how can you not tell?
Yeah. You're like, that could be grape or it could be
I've
people.
never had people before.
But is it
Fair.
grape? Is it grape flavored people?
No.
Yeah, grape.
So the
Terrible.
berry
Probably
one that I
tasted-
picked out, I can smell it, and it smells like berry.
Okay.
If it turns out to be people, that will be quite a coup for them.
I would say,
Okay.
is that what the reddish brown ones are? Or are they just berry?
Yes,
What do
Okay.
people
just
taste
definitely berry.
Apparently
Yeah,
not.
you found
grapes.
out. You found the first bullet in the
Yeah,
chamber,
wait.
Mom. How does that?
like? What does it
How's
taste
that
like?
taste?
It tastes like fruit punch.
They're not good.
I think the blue
Yeah, fruit
ones are
punch.
berry.
I don't think you're going to be able to
No,
tell
this one's
people.
fruit punch.
It
Those are
tastes
probably
like fruit punch.
raspberry.
That's what,
You
that's
can
what I'm
pass,
saying.
Mom.
The blue ones are berry. You had the fruit punch.
I just had another
Yeah.
grape one.
Yeah,
Oh,
berry mix.
So there is
Wait.
just a
No, that's
weird.
Somebody, I think, is exhaling
Do I get? I don't
dead
take one.
things because
You
I
you do not
smell
need
it.
to take another one. You
Do you
you've
smell it?
already eaten people.
Yeah. I mean, no
Okay, so
offense
I got
to
the last
Mom,
one. It is orange.
Okay.
but I can smell Mom's candy now,
Ew.
kind of, on your breath. It smells like dead things.
Mike
Oh.
looks confused.
Yeah, that is an orange, but it just doesn't taste like much at all.
Are we gonna fire through one more?
I think this one might have just
are we
failed.
willing to do one more? Because
I'm willing to go till I find one.
Yeah, I'm willing to take another. Oh,
I
there's
mean-
blue in here, and everything's kind of covered in dust.
Ew.
That's corpse
Blue's
dust.
berry.
They've been dead longer.
Is blueberry?
Yeah.
Okay, well let's see what happens.
Aw.
And the sort of light
Well, I'll just
pinkish
skip, yeah.
thing is
Oh yeah, I don't
Fruit
have
punch. Well, it
Fruit
tells you
punch,
on
yeah.
there what the options are.
oh, does it?
because there's two kinds.
Yeah,
there's
there's-
like a brownish and a reddish.
There's chilling black cherry, boogeyman blackberry, petrifying citrus punch, mummified melon, and blood red berry.
And crap.
So where are
Okay.
we? So
Okay.
Mom is eating.
So the orange
people.
one that I got,
Yeah.
that second one,
Yeah.
might have been melon.
Okay.
Oh, the reason it's covered in dust is one of them broke. There's like a shattered one in there.
Okay.
I hope
Because
that
it
one's
definitely
the
wasn't
zombie.
like corpse. It just wasn't
Yeah.
orange. It was sort of vaguely Swedish.
Are you in this?
Yeah,
second,
that's-
Are you in this second round with us, Mike?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Swedish, like it
It tastes
tasted like
normal.
the Swedish
Yes.
chef.
Burgie, burgie, burgie.
Okay.
Which like people
Any
from
child
Sweden
eat that thing.
specifically.
That's terrible.
That is still green apple.
Yeah, this is just fruit
I'm
punch.
pretty
This
happy
is a
about
black
this.
cherry or whatever.
I feel pretty good. I feel good. I feel strong.
Like I know I'm going to regret it, but I kind of just want to taste it
So
to
purple
have
one?
tasted it.
Well, we've learned what happens when someone whacks Mike's boom arm. Because it went, "Thwong."
Bong.
That purple is really good.
No,
All right,
I like
I
the
got
black cherry.
death.
Oh, you got death, Marty?
It tastes like
It's cherry. Oh, that is fantastic.
Mm-hmm. I like the cherry.
I just taste
He looks so
Like-
confused.
dust. Yeah, it's not bad. It's just
Oh, I got another purple
I
one.
still got a normal
Well,
one.
imagine if they have a reputation of making children vomit. That's probably not good. It's
It
probably
would be-
bad
it would-
PR.
It would be like Beverly.
Oh,
Yeah.
Beverly's terrible.
Beverly's supposed to make you not vomit. It's a
Oh.
Ma'am.
digestif.
They need to
It's
have this
not-
the purple Skittles normally.
it is
These
the
black cherry ones,
aftertaste is what's really the bad
they
part
are
because it just
amazing.
The
lingers.
purple ones are black?
Mhm.
I thought
It
the
is.
brown ones were black cherry. So I just had a brown one.
I have not seen a brown one. I don't know what you're eating.
I had like 3 of them in a row.
Yeah, it is
They're like reddish
definitely
brown,
tastes like
kind of brick colored.
like
Yeah,
ima-
this, I
imagine
haven't
like
had one of
corp
these yet.
dust would taste
No,
like.
that's
that.
Okay.
that's black cherry
Yeah, I
or
know.
maybe corpse.
Well,
So
we'll
it
see.
so it sort of tastes like what you think the scene of opening the casket from the mummy would taste like.
Yeah,
Okay.
like that old dusty
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
like slightly
That's
moldy kind of.
So
Tasty,
sort of
isn't it?
like a bit like a basement, but one that hasn't been well
Mold.
moisture controlled.
Yeah,
Okay. So I would say if you're out there and you're a game collector, you're probably well aware of that. So there we go. We've run through. We've skittled it up. We've had two people eat rotting human flesh.
We
Almost
really need more black
disappointed that
cherry Skittles. Like this needs to happen in this country.
Yeah, the
'Cause
black
those are
cherry
fantastic.
are fantastic.
And
I'm
I
almost
actually
a little
think-
disappointed
I
that I
think
haven't
these
found
are
it
normal.
yet.
Like I think these were probably definitely gotten from the U.S. side of the Mex-US border because I think I've seen these in
Really?
stores. Yeah.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
I've never seen
Yeah.
any other Skittles that have black cherry though.
Oh, I mean maybe they. Yeah. That I don't know.
The zombie Skittles have been in stores here, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
Because Rocky, as a matter of fact, I'll give you a quick story before we sign off officially. Is that I said, "Hey, zombie Skittles, I think this is a play," and that's when Rocky was like, "Look, I am telling you, I'm not gonna. There's a whole thing, and I can't do it, and there's a long story, and I used to be in a basement a lot, and it's not cool, and I also can't watch small black and white televisions." And
What? I feel like this
Took a turn.
it did, and I don't remember that turn.
Well, you don't remember the '80s either, so
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, no, I mean, if anyone listened way back when we did What the Food with the Dr. Witz, and we tasted that one candy, that was the worst thing ever. I nearly ripped all of the equipment
Oh,
off
yeah.
the table trying to bolt to the bathroom to vomit. Like, I forgot I had headphones on. I just tried to make a run for it.
actually,
You almost ripped them
and
out
as
of
a
the
matter
Yeah.
of fact, that went so bad we've never put that out.
Really?
Yeah, because there was just a point where you were
Wow.
like, "Oh my god!" and
I
like
thought
there's
we
just
put that out.
no. We did the Dr. Witz one. We did not because it was it got so traumatic listening to it that I was like,
Wow.
I don't know that I find any joy in this.
I'm so sorry. Yeah,
Yeah. So
it was. Oh.
I'll see if I can dig it out and maybe I'll edit it and put it on the mainstream, or maybe I'll put it
Make
here on
it
the
as a
Patreon
Patreon.
stream. But like, yeah, we did it, and it was unfortunate enough listening to it in the first pass that I was like, I don't want to do this.
My bad.
You
Because
know,
it was
I mean,
just
there
a
could
lot
be
of
some-
like misery.
there could be some Schadenfreude.
there
in
could
there.
be a little bit, and as a matter
It
of fact,
could.
the exact thing that did that to Rocky, some of those have also been given to us by Yarrington's Yarkyard.
Yeah,
So we
no.
might be playing
What
with
was
some
it?
of those.
It's what saltaditos?
Yeah, they're saltadito, but it's a saltadito
Pickle?
that's like super
Okay.
sour
Okay.
dill.
Salty.
Yeah, salty
It
dill.
was pickle
Okay.
flavored, but it's like an apricot seed covered in salt and then
Yeah.
pickle flavored.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, no,
It's a
Just
whole thing.
salt.
It was not good. It was,
No, it's the
yeah.
worst thing ever.
Oh,
I don't know
it
how
really
people eat them.
was.
Speaking of Mex-US, that's where they're popular.
Yeah, they are popular in Mexas, and that's why we have some of those. And at some point, we'll be covering them right here on the Patreon with the food. Once again, thank you so much for not turning it off earlier so you could hear about zombie Skittles.
And one thing about them is
Surprise.
like zombies, they don't die. The aftertaste just lives
It
on
really
forever.
does. Which is
Oh.
kind of pleasant if what you've been eating is the black cherry one.
that is true.
Oh.
I'm kind of glad I missed the bullet. I was ready to take the bullet, but I'm kind of glad I missed
I'm
it.
kind of disappointed I didn't get to taste one.
Well, here, Brian,
Just for
there's
novelty.
a ton of them. You can just keep eating those, but we've already had two people do it on air, so we're not necessarily so
Okay.
worried about that. But if you want to try them out there, There also might be, I'm going to let you know, Patreon backers, at some point we're actually going to do like a gift pack to a lot of you, where we're going to do some of these extra candies, and that's probably where some of these zombie Skittles will end up going.
Yeah, because they're in like individual fun packs.
Yeah,
so
we have quite a few things we've done that were in individual fun packs that are just like candy, so they don't really go out of date. So we're going to do a bunch of those and send them out. So at some point you might be lucky enough to receive some of these
or
zombie
unlucky
Skittles.
enough if you get the Twinkie.
Indeed. So once again, I've been your moderator, Bruce, joining me on the second part of What the Food?
Unpleasant.
Really unpleasant.
Black cherry.
Skittles.
And thank you so much for listening. That was sure half an hour of talking about food, wasn't it? Yeah. So, my goodness. Those things, right? We're actually really excited that this got moved over here because a lot of people have said that the eating of those Skittles is one of the best things they've heard in quite a while. So we're super excited that we got to bring that over to the main feed. And once again, it's a big thank you to our Patreon supporters that are letting us bring this over because that is our Patreon content. I also realized in the last block, if you really, really cared, I'm sure you already looked it up on your phone or your computer or whatever internet-connected device you have. But MagFest is the 2nd of January through, I believe, the 6th of January. So we will be doing our panel on that Saturday. So that is like next Saturday, I think, if I'm doing my math right. Not like tomorrow Saturday, but the next Saturday is when we're going to be doing that panel. And we're super excited. We're going to have a little handout for everybody that sort of explains what we've been talking about. And one thing people note about that panel, or at least they did last year, was rather than just running slides, we actually just have a camera over the table, and we just show you party game after party game after party game, which is kind of neat. A lot of people are not used to seeing that. We're hoping maybe this year we can do something afterwards with that, with people that want to play games and head over kind of into the tabletop area and take some games over there. But we'll be around. We're not going to be around for the Thursday of MagFest, but we'll be hanging around the Friday, the Saturday, and the Sunday. So if you want to find us, let us know. Contact us on social media at Party Gamecast and let us know that you're around MagFest and you'd like to meet up and we'll play some great game there. That would be awesome. We're now going to head into the actual Party Gamecast content, the us talking about a game that we do. Now, as I've noted, it was October when these episodes came out. So for the Party Gamecast Presents that we're going to be doing here, we're actually talking about Skull, which was a game that neither Mike nor I could believe we had not covered before. When I proposed it, Mike said, hey, look through, see if we ever did it. And I was like, I did. I don't think we have. So we're really shocked that it took this long for us to get a review of that game out. And you're about to hear it in just a second. But yeah, so we think this is a super awesome party game content. It is an actual game that if you have not heard of, you should have heard of. And we're happy to bring it to you. So I'm just going to get out of the way and play that episode. I'll be back after it's over. Hey, patrons! Welcome to the Patreon party. Yeah.
We reward your patronage with this level of professionalism.
Exactly. As we always do. A high level of professionalism, and I'm sure this will be incredibly well edited.
Yes. keep patronizing us.
Indeed, please.
Keep patronizing us.
Thank you.
I'm your moderator, Bruce. Joining me in the episode is Rocky.
Hello.
Mom.
Hi.
Mike.
Howdy.
Brian.
What's up?
And Marty.
Hey.
Hey. How are you doing over there?
I think
Marty?
you already did awkward. Like, that intro was pretty awkward.
Was it?
It was pretty bad.
It felt good.
No, I think you should try it again.
That felt good to you?
It wasn't awkward enough. We need to try harder.
Yeah, we need to
Oh.
take two.
It felt. I mean, I don't feel like if that opening were a pitch to a baseball. I don't think I hit anybody. I don't think it was a wild pitch. I mean, it was a little like I lost it a little bit.
It was in the
motion.
dirt. I think it was in the dirt and it hit the guy in the shin or something.
Okay.
Coming up off the dirt.
But like nobody managed to steal a base or anything. It wasn't that bad.
No.
Okay. Well, that's about how I felt it was. Hey, I'm really glad you stuck around through all that idle baseball chatter. On this episode, we're going to talk about our one game, and since it is it's October, it's a spooky ooky kooky month.
Sure.
Booga booga.
Indeed. So
There's the awkward.
there we go.
I wasn't ready for
Well
that.
done. We're going to talk about a game. Mike and I were actually talking about this. We thought we had covered this game in the past, and then looked and realized we had not.
Yeah, because I know we got it. a couple of years back.
No, it was,
Yeah,
it was
it's been
only
a
like
while.
a year or two ago. Star got it for me as a gift, actually.
Yeah.
We were like, and I remember when we got it, we were like, we should cover this on the show. But that was during the dark ages when we didn't do any episodes. And we were like, yeah, whenever we get back, this is totally a thing we should
those
do.
dark times.
Indeed. We are going to talk about Skull. Okay.
Nobody's got it. Yeah, nobody has anything funny for that.
No.
Nope. Alas.
It was originally called Skull and Roses, and they, for some reason, took the and roses out in later versions of the game. Hey, Marty. I'm going to trust that you can tell us how this game works.
All right, so the game actually is very simple. Each person has 4 tiles, and they're coaster shaped, which is kind of confusing when you actually have a coaster as well, and you're gonna put drinks on it. So make sure you're not putting drinks on it, because you want to make sure that the tiles stay separate.
Fortunately, we had coasters from our fine folks at Power to the Meeple at powertothemeeple.com. Fantastic prices, helping shows just like ours. Powertothemeeple.com. But they also did actually send over coasters. So we were using our Power to the Meeple coasters, which helped us a little bit with Skull, but not as much as you'd hope.
So each person gets 4 tiles, 3 of which are flowers, 1 of which is a skull. And this is kind of like a bluffing game where everyone puts down 1 tile first, and then it goes around from the starting player, who then either puts another tile down or calls out a number that they're willing to flip over that many tiles and not get a skull. The object of the game is, if you do that and win twice, you win the game. If you call out a number and you have to flip tiles and you get a skull, you don't. You actually lose one of your tiles at random from that point, and you just have to play with fewer tiles. The other thing is that you have to flip over your own tiles first when you call the bluff. So if you played a skull, then you will obviously lose. But also, a method you could do is you can pretend to, like, you call out a number even though you had a skull, hoping someone else bids higher than you, so that they have to flip over more tiles, and hopefully they think you don't have a skull, so they pick your tiles.
Yep, couple neat things to note. So you have kind of round tiles that look like coasters, and then you have a square tile that looks like a coaster. And what I really think's neat about the way the system of this game works is you said you have to win twice, then you win the game. Which just sounds hinky until you see how they did it. Which is your square coaster sits on the table, and that's sort of the platform you'll be putting your other tiles on. It starts black. If once you get your first correct guess, it turns brightly colored. So everybody can see that you're 1 win away. And then if you have a brightly colored tile and you get your second call right, you're going to win the game. So I just think that's just a real easy way to make this work that I just think is just super duper cool, and one of the things that's really done right about this game.
Yeah, and the art is very beautiful. It's very well done, very stylized, and it's very pretty.
Yeah, it really is, and I think that's what pushes this. Because if you look at the price of the game based on the componentry, the actual physical number of components, it's a pretty pricey game for the number of components. But when you open them... Yeah, for coasters. But when you open it up and you look at them, you're like, you know, this feels really good. I like this. These are bright. These are gorgeous. People clearly worked very hard on the art for these. Like, it just feels kind of, dare I say, it feels right.
Mm-hmm. They are themed, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Each of the little, I guess I could call them decks of 4 round coasters and 1 squarish coaster is themed. So there's one that is sort of Mexican themed, where it's sugar candy skulls. And there's one that's sort of Nordic themed, and all of the flowers are generally representative of that area also. So it's really pretty how it's done.
Yeah, and like all the flowers are very pretty, but they're also kind of worked into like a mandala design almost. So it's all symmetrical and intricate, and you know, it's a very pretty game. That was one of the first things I noticed about it back the first time I played it.
Plus, what's kind of neat about this game is, compared to the game I think you could say is most close to it of games people know, would be like Liar's Dice. And in Liar's Dice, there's still, even as good a bluffer as you may be, there's still a very high level of luck, because like you're still shaking the dice and hoping you do well. In this, it is largely deterministic until you start losing tiles, and then you're just left at the whims of luck. But
What's that
until
like,
then,
Bruce?
I mean, it's a heck of a thing. It is a heck of a thing, because in one of the games we played, Mike would not look at his tiles. He would just shuffle and put them up. So every time I was like, well, I got a 75% chance. I'm going to bet on one of Mike's tiles being okay. And most of the time that didn't pay anyone off because he lied. And he looked at his top tile and they were skulls. And
I don't know what you're talking about.
And he would laugh at you. So, Rock, how'd you feel about this one?
I enjoy this game, and usually I'm pretty terrible at lying about things. So, yeah, I like it a lot. It has some fun interaction and just a hint of bluffing, just a skosh of bluffing.
Just a soupçon?
A soupçon.
Just a
Yeah.
yes, just a foreign word here of lying.
Mom, how'd you feel about this one?
I like it. I don't think that I didn't think I was lying about it. In the beginning, of course, I had to watch a couple times, but then I figured it out. But I think it's fun. I like it. But I don't think I'm a good bluffer. I just put them where I thought I should. So that's all.
You actually really are a good bluffer.
Yeah.
Once you get the hang of a game, I've seen you destroy people.
Mom doesn't
Not on
bluff. Mom
purpose.
convinces herself she's doing something different.
Yeah.
I also saw you fell into and this is the same trap I fell into the first time I played this game, which is essentially on a turn, your options are play one of your tiles face down or call out a number of the number of tiles you're willing to flip face up. And then once numbers are called, you can only call a higher number or kind of fold, which is push your tiles towards the middle to show everybody that you're not going to draw any. And you kept trying to do what I was doing my first game, which is I would call like 4, it would go to Mom, and she'd put a tile down. We go, that's the only thing you can't do. She's like, 2. No, you can call a higher number, or you can pass.
No,
well, when
see-
do I get to play tiles? Well, had someone not called out a number, you'd get to play a tile.
I felt like I should be able to add a tile to make it more favorable that I might be able to get the number that I was going to call. If I only had one tile down already, well, I couldn't say 4, thinking I was going to get 4. So I just felt like I should at least have 2 down there to be able to bet.
So
But no.
we played 6 players. A thing to note is the very first round, everybody just puts down a tile before you start. So there were 6 tiles to begin with, but it seemed to be on Mom's turns, it would usually be a number barked at her by the time it got to her. I don't think you ever got a point where there were like 2 down and you were working
No.
from that point on.
No, and I really wanted to play another tile before I bid anything. And so that was my problem. I felt like I needed more
Now,
tiles
there was a
to
couple
be able to
times
win.
where she had 2. I know I picked both her tiles for one of my choices. So.
No, but then I would have had to set a high number if I only had 2. And I wanted to have at least 3 to say 5. I wanted 2 to only have 2 different. But I never could do it. I just couldn't do it.
For those of you following along, listening, having even played the game, I'm not entirely sure what's going on here. So don't think it's just you. If you're in your car and you're doing the thing from Clue where you're doing 1 plus 2,
2 plus 1
plus 1
plus 1.
plus 1 plus 1. No, it's 1 plus 1 plus 2 plus 1.
1.
Plus, no, that's not you. That is even having been here and been there. I'm not entirely, but I think I got what you're saying.
Yeah, I wanted to have a better chance of actually doing what I said I was going to do. And I didn't think I had enough unless I could play another one.
I understand. Mike, how'd you feel about this one? Because I know of all of us, you're the one that liked it the least.
I'm not a fan of pure just the bluffing mechanic.
Okay.
And that's all this game was.
Yes.
It's just distilled bluffing mechanic.
Yes.
And so I had to kind of make my own fun. That's why I was sort of randomly picking my cards. I wasn't looking at them a couple of times. I was pretending I wasn't looking at them a couple of times, which was very fun when Bruce would bomb out on mine. Or Rocky.
Yeah.
I got a couple out of her too.
Grr.
Yeah, I wasn't even trying to win. I was really just trying to make other people not win. And surprisingly, that worked a lot better than I thought it would. And that was the only way I could make fun, though.
You had a hand in eliminating 3 people.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Not
did
solely,
well
but-
not having fun doing it.
Yeah, you had a lot of fun not having fun.
Oh, I had a lot of Schadenfreude fun, but not a lot of like I'm playing a game and enjoying myself fun.
Fair enough. And I would say, like, everything... And I think that's the great thing about having a show with a bunch of people and a bunch of opinions, is everything you've said that's negative is the exact same thing I would say is a positive. Like, it's the bluffing mechanism just distilled down.
Yeah,
And it's- yeah.
but that's like you like the
Yeah.
bluffing mechanism. I don't.
And it's a rare... This rarely happens to us, Mike, where we do literally agree.
Oh
Like,
yeah, we
no,
completely agree
you're-
on all of the analysis. It's
Yeah.
the conclusion where we disagree.
Yeah, but normally, like, there's a thing that we've both seen differently, where I'm like, but Mike, you don't get... No, you clearly got it all. I feel the exact same way. I just think it's positive. Yeah, because what I like about this is it takes... And normally, I love luck in games. It's one of my favorite things, but I have always found in Liar's Dice, I don't like the luck, because what am I going to do? Like, oh, I either have the dice or I don't have the dice. I guess I'll pretend I have the dice. And I don't like that because I feel a little helpless. Here, I feel like I'm completely in control of not winning this game. and that feels better to me for some reason.
Okay.
So, would you take it to a party, Rock?
I would, and I believe we have before.
Yes, we actually have
Yeah.
taken this to parties. I bring this
Yes.
anytime I can bring this somewhere. I normally do because I think it's one of those. If we ever get to the Patreon funding to do the games you'd put in like a cajon bag, for me, definitely it would be in there because it takes up such little space. It's so
Yeah.
beautiful,
Yeah.
and I really like that it is the bluffing mechanism distilled down.
Stop giving away paid content for free.
I was going to say that the box is so small, you don't need to put it in anything else. You can just easily transport it.
Yep.
So, yeah, easy to teach, easy to pick up, entertaining.
Very good, Mom. How about you?
I would take it to a party. I think it's fun. Yeah.
All right.
Do you, any other thoughts or no?
Yeah,
No.
well, it just takes a few minutes, I think, to get the gist of what you're doing. And like you said, you want to play more discs than you're allowed to.
Yeah.
Once you figure that out, you say, okay, you just go with it and you try. That's what, I didn't try it till later on, and I should have tried earlier.
You definitely
But-
should have tried earlier. Although you did score a point, so like you were in the game.
She
Yeah.
won the game.
I did.
Oh yeah,
She won the second game.
Once I got eliminated, I stopped paying attention.
Yeah, well, we did take out half the table in one fell swoop.
Yeah.
Well, that's because Bruce read the rules and at one point
Yeah.
and went, "Oh, these
No.
people aren't supposed to be playing the game anymore."
But
Which made
still-
logical sense. If at any point, or every time that you attempt to make a guess and you're wrong, the person that you picked the tile up and got you with the skull gets to take one of your tiles out of the game, one of your round tiles. The rule I missed was this, so you might miss it as well. If you're down to just the skull, and ever someone flips your skull up and proves that's your only tile, you are just out of the game. So you are allowed to keep bluffing until someone has called your bluff and says, "Oh no, you have one tile left. It's a skull. Peace." And that did happen, and that was the one rule I did miss, was that
Which
would
is
take you
funny
out.
because 3 people went down to 1 tile, and 2 of those 3 people had just a skull left.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's how, even without learning that rule, I think you flipped Marty's skull, which killed you
Yep.
and killed Marty, and then we realized Rocky shouldn't have been in that round.
Yeah.
So even so, we lost 2 people in one round thanks to that amusing little
Yeah.
thing. Y'all killed each other, and then the rest of us who still had 4 tiles could continue playing. Because it was just like with you guys, you were always like, you were the challenger, and then you went first, and you're like, well, I can't play a second tile, so I guess I'm gonna bid. And
that's
then
the thing.
you'd never bid because the rest of us would outbid, and then I was like, this is not as fun because there's only ever 5 or 6 tiles. That's it. Everyone has 1 tile, and then we start bidding,
Well,
and that's not fun. I don't like that.
Well, and that's in there to make sure that I just can't keep thrusting.
Oh,
Like,
no,
I
yeah,
can't
that's-
just
yeah.
keep like lunging and trying to win and lunging and trying to win because eventually I end up with just 1 tile and I'm like, oh, every turn I have to participate.
Well, for a while there, you had 2 tiles. Neither of them was a skull, and we all knew it. So
Yeah.
whenever you'd have 2 tiles down, we'd go, okay, well, whatever we're bidding, it's going to be whatever plus 2 because we know bruises are safe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's my tiles plus your 2 tiles and whatever else.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I don't know. I like it. I like that. Like I'm on your side. It is bidding distilled down,
Yep.
and that's super fun.
So you taking this to a party, Brian?
Yeah, I totally would. You guys took it to a party where I was at,
Yep.
and it was super fun. It's simple. It's easy. I've taught people to play it before. Yeah, like you said, it's one of those games that, like, if you routinely take games somewhere, this should be on your short list.
and this is one of those that we talked about, is make sure you remember that the first round, you have to, everyone just puts a tile out. That's it.
Oh, yeah.
That is the thing you absolutely do.
Yeah, you basically, everybody has to put one tile in before you can start the round, and then you start the round.
So, Mike, I feel like I know the answer, but I'm still going to ask. You taking this to a party?
I mean, other people seem to like it enough. This might be one of those things where I take it to a party and I tell people how it works, drop it on the table, and peace out. Because it's real quick to explain. It's small. It's really portable. And it's pretty, and other people seem to like it, so why not?
Fair. And how about you, Marty?
Yeah, and I'm usually one of those people that don't like when I go to take games. I like to take games that I'm more of a serious kind of gamer.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
This is one of those games where I would only play it at a party. I don't I don't see this as a game that I bring out when it's just a bunch of gamers, unless we're like waiting for something. But this is definitely a more lighthearted. This is kind of you can actually have a little bit of fun watching this, I think.
Okay.
And especially if it's an adult party with some alcohol, it's like I can see this being a lot of fun, a lot more fun than it would be just trying to play it on your own.
I could see it. And what I like about this is I feel like, so there are a lot of games, and you're a heavier gamer, and I'm aware of the games that are in your world, and I'm aware of heavier gamers than you that will only play heavy games. And they're like, oh, well, whenever we try to play something where we're going to play it at a party, we bring, and they'll always name like some ridiculous game.
Twilight Struggle.
Or even like, oh no, when I'm around my drunken friends, we try to play Seven Wonders. And you're like, you can't explain Seven Wonders to a person that doesn't play games and is drinking. Like, just the idea of chaining. Like, oh no, if you put out the Coliseum, you're allowed to play the blah blah blah. Like, even just that one idea, trying to explain it to a person that's had a couple drinks is painful.
No, this is definitely a good game. I think it actually gets better when you're not paying attention as much.
Yeah.
I would say, though, maybe not when you're drinking, because you're going to have people actually using them as coasters.
Yeah, that's it.
No, that is...
No, and it's a very pretty game. You should.
And it's also one of those things where if you get a water stain on the back of them, it ruins
No,
it.
yeah, it's over then at that point.
Yeah,
But
you
Oh,
mark
yeah,
your
it's marked.
cards.
But I would say shy of that, like this is one of those games that you as a gamer nerd can take to non-gamer nerd parties. It is pretty enough people are like, well, I'll at least see what it is. I know that you're one of those people that plays board games. Okay, what is this thing? I don't have much of a tolerance for this sort of stuff, so it better be easy.
Yeah, this
And
is
it's going to
definitely-
fit that.
Yeah.
That's one thing as I think is like I think this would work a lot better if they were plastic instead of cardboard, because then you wouldn't have to worry about the whole coaster issue.
That is true. That is
Yeah.
true.
I'll say also that in terms of... Sorry, Brian, but just
You're good.
real quick, in terms of not scaring off non-gamers...
Yeah.
just the size of this box is going to help.
Yes.
Because if you bring out one of those giant games that requires a box half the size of your table to begin with, people are going to go, oh no, I don't even want to see what's in that box.
Yep.
This thing is so tiny, they're like, well, it can't be that bad. This box is tiny. How complicated can the thing possibly be?
Yeah.
And they'd be right.
And I think the fact that they're coasters, they feel like something you've been around before, so nothing feels like way too weird.
Yeah, you're not scaring people off with the pieces
Yeah.
being like all alien and never having seen anything. What the heck is this meeple thing? And why does it have like things painted on it? And
Yeah.
there are meeples and there are cubes and there's some dice. Okay, this is too much.
Indeed. Brian, I know you had been waiting to say something, and everyone has stomped over you.
Oh,
What's up, man?
Was I? I was going to say exactly what Mike said. So thank you for waiting. Thanks. I'm good.
Once again, patron, this is exactly the type, and all that stays in.
Professional.
Yeah,
Yes.
all of that stays
You
in.
get what you pay for.
Exactly. Well, thank you so much, and thank you for paying.
Thanks, Mike.
We-
thank
You're
you, patrons,
welcome.
genuinely, and thank you, Mike, not genuinely. Very insincerely.
And then I'm just gonna say to everybody else that I definitely would take this to a party. Mike did that.
Okay.
Mike
I did
chose
that on
to.
purpose.
I thought it was feedback. He
Mike
thwonged his spring.
Mike decided to thwong his spring.
I totally
You know what I
flonged
mean.
Yeah,
my
if you know what I'm
spring
talking
on you.
about, right here,
Yeah.
where there's 5 of us here with him, and that's
all watched.
horrible. Oh God, now
Oh,
Brian
Brian's thwonging my
flung the
spring.
spring.
I watched
I hope
that.
you enjoy
Yeah.
that in your ears.
Yeah, please. Yeah, same thing. I would definitely take it to a party. We have taken it to parties, as Rocky noted. I think it's great. We've said all the fantastic stuff about it. If you're listening to this, hopefully I will have gotten this out before the end of the month. So if you're still looking at potentially going to a Halloween party, I think this is absolutely perfect.
It's definitely on theme for Halloween.
No matter what Halloween party it is, I think you're fine.
Or a Dia de los Muertos party, if you go
Dia
to
de los
those.
Muertos isn't much past Halloween, isn't it?
I
Like
think they're around the same time,
yeah,
but they're
like
not
it's
the same
early
day.
November. So yeah, it would definitely fit for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. Thank you so much for listening to the Patreon party. I've been your moderator, Bruce, joining me on the show.
You didn't see my skeleton, did you? No? Good.
No.
My bones are all crooked. But that's normal.
Me too, sister. Me too.
My spring is loose.
I got nothing.
Spooky.
And thank you so much for listening and supporting the show. And welcome back from all of that, everybody. Thank you so much for listening through to the mid-month cavalcade for December. I guess really it's the end-month cavalcade. Don't worry, there will be some. If you are one of our Patreon backers and you are still listening to this, there will be Patreon content before the month is over, just barely. But it might be a throwback. We're going to go back to Rocky and I doing a couple things. Just because it's hard to get everybody together during the holidays until you get to New Year's Eve, and then we can get everyone together. Past that, once again, new episode coming out next week for either the 1st or the 2nd. And yeah, thank you so much for listening. A big thank you to all of our Patreon sponsors. We certainly appreciate that. Helps us make the show. Big thank you to everybody that listens. Do us a favor. Just tell absolutely every person you've ever met about it. Give us a rating on Apple Podcasts. I heard podcasts that are more successful than ours tell me that that's where people should give ratings. But I would say wherever you listen to it, just let them know that you like what we do. We certainly appreciate it. It helps us get into the ear holes of more people, and we thank you. So once again, we'll be back in a couple of days with a brand new episode of brand new content. Thank you so much for listening.